beautiful people. Hope everyone is doing wonderfully this evening. It's Monday night in my world. And today's letter was H, which I got some good words, which made me H happy. The only problem was that I normally wouldn't pick one of these words. I liked another one better for recovery. But the world, I think, needs this first word. And if you can do it in person, even better, if you have this option. This is not something, I will tell you, this is not something that's my favorite thing. Or at least it hadn't been for a long time. I'm much better about it. But our first word, our first H word today is going to be hugs. A hug is a form of endearment, universal in human communities, in which two or more people put their arms around the neck, back, or waist of another and hold each other closely. And given the circumstances right now, I think that probably everybody can use a hug. So that is why I picked that one. I had a couple votes too. And there was a lot for happy, but you saw how I snuck that in. So, yeah, we're good with that. All right, now the harder core, the more recovery-ish words. And I think the very, very first word that you need when it comes to quitting gambling or anything else is this H word, which is honest. We got to be honest, which is free of deceit and untruthfulness, or sincere, or used to persuade someone of the truth of something. So being honest as a noun, I guess, is the way they're doing it. So if we're not honest when we look in the mirror about what we're doing, you know, that if we're losing the mortgage money, or we're counting on a slot machine to give us our emotions, but we're not acknowledging that, we're not really being honest with ourselves. We also need to be honest with the people in our world so that they can start healing too. And I'm talking specifically, you know, like your household, your immediate family, people that you are in your circle that you're going to need to heal with. Ooh, H, heal. You need to be honest so that you H, hurt them less. Well, there's a lot of good H words here. And hurt did not show up because it's positive words only is what I ask for when I survey all of my little Facebook people. So, yeah, honesty is a big, big part of recovery and living our best life. I know I've been on both sides of honesty, the kind where people aren't honest, and then the kind where people are honest. And even when I was doing bad things, that bothered me the most was not when I had to lie. I've never liked lying, and I've always struggled with it. So gambling wasn't really a good fit. If you had, like, I had certain friends that would specifically be like, well, where are you going? And it's just simple curiosity, but I don't want to tell them or didn't want to tell them at the time. So, but being honest to look at ourselves and see, you know, what do we need to work on as we go on our journey? Are we putting out good vibes to humankind? You know, like, is everybody getting what we're putting down in a good way as we begin living an honest life? And I'm not going to say it's easy. And even in the step work, they talk about not fessing up if it's going to hurt people. So there's definitely balance, but the more honest you can be, the less weight you're carrying. It's more of that negative stuff that needs to leave. If you're holding on to lies, you know, you don't get to You don't have enough room for all that positive stuff, that example that we talk about all the time. Okay, and the final one, this word, this word I heard when I was a kid because it was in a song that my biological father used to sing. And even though I didn't talk to him for many years, this song just, for whatever reason, stuck with me. And there are days that I literally sing it in the mirror, which I probably shouldn't admit to you. But and it's really important. This word is really, really important in recovery, or at least in moving forward in personal development, in my opinion, because if you don't have it, I don't know how you can move forward. If you don't have this and you don't have the honesty. So this last H word, did I build enough suspense yet? This last H word is humble. And the song is, the verse goes, "Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I can't wait to look in the mirror. I get better looking each day." So if I'm feeling pretty, I sing that song. There you go. You know a little secret about me. I'm being honest. But humility and humble has shown up a lot, both my first couple years being away from a vet, and then again now the last 3+ years. And I remember going to a GA meeting one night, and they knew, like, I had my own little language there. I called the GA junk. I walked into the rooms and said, "Listen, I ain't buying this 12-step shit. I'm going to just be here because it's the right thing to do." So I called it GA junk, which was essentially code for, the things that are the style of communication and healing in the 12-step rooms. And I've always had, I don't want to say an issue with being modest or not humble, but I must have had an attitude that really lacked humility when I was in Kansas. And I remember one of the fellas dedicating a whole meeting to being humble and humility. He had brought in literature, and it was a topic for the night, and a lot of that had to do with being for my benefit. So it was memorable, but we, need to be humble so that we can learn and not I don't want to say turn people off, but own our stuff. And it's crazy because what I'm learning is we can be proud and humble, which I can't explain to you necessarily how to pull that off, but I know that I'm capable of that now. Like, I don't need to be the best at everything or brag about it or whatever. I can be kind of humble about, some stuff. But then I also could be proud of the things I work hard at, like my recovery, like my grades in school, like my job. Those things, I can be proud of them and still be humble. So I like the humble word. It's kind of fun, right? That's a good H word to leave us on tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what people come up with for I tomorrow. I don't think there's a ton of words for I, so it'll be interesting because the fact they have to be positive narrows it down quite a bit. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. There's something about just recording the night episodes that I'm yawning like a crazy lady every day. So that's what I got for you today, guys. I will say I'm enjoying the positive word game or whatever we're calling this. It's a nice, refreshing break. I know we've done a lot of heavy work the last 2 months of my lockdown. So it's good to just kind of be silly and talk about the words and let people play and engage. Because, we're still thinking about not gambling in our recovery and growing and evolving. So it counts. Okay. Have a marvelous evening, guys. I will talk to you in the morning.
And you're well understood.